That's that window I look out. I can see the green trees. I just thought I'd want to show that to you. Hello guys, I am going to be making myself a matcha latte today. And I don't have a steamer, so I'm doing it the old-fashioned way. Steam the milk on the stove. I'm gonna go in with some of my Tazo green tea matcha latte mix. I already shook it up, so let's see how we're gonna do here with this. There's a little bit in there. I think that's good. As usual, I wasted it. Get that up. I tell you, trying to learn how to cook in front of a camera ain't my strong suit. Let me see how it tastes. This is something new here. Oh, wow. That's pretty good. I thought I would need a little extra matcha and sugar here concoction. I'll put a little bit in here just in case. It gets a little bitter towards the end. You know, I like flavor. Novelty and flavor. These ADHD brains, that's what we need. Now, I had to boil my milk because this Tazo is cold. And I wanted it to be hot, but I don't think it's going to be hot enough. I think I'm going to have to probably put it back in the microwave because I want this one to be hot. I don't want an iced matcha latte. I want a hot matcha latte. So I'm going to put this in the microwave for a little bit. And then I'm going to get into my journal, my quiet time, and then I will be back. How y'all doing this morning? Well, I'm doing okay. I am sitting in front of that mirror that window I told you about, looking out of it, having my quiet time. And I'm just thinking, and I'm thinking about a couple things. I'm thinking about how mellow I feel. That's still blowing me away. I guess I'll talk more about that later. I like how I don't feel like I have a need to move. That part is a plus. And the more I'm thinking about it, I think it's the natural rims with the ashwagandha that's doing it. Maybe the Slenderex and the Accelerate. I guess the Slenderex probably has some hormonal balancing things. Maybe my cortisol is coming down from the Slenderex. And then the ashwagandha is probably helping. That's in the natural rims. But I don't know what's in all of them, to be honest. But so I got to kind of look at that a little bit more. But I just kind of want to talk about something else today, because even though I am, you know, I feel like the motor has been turned down in my back, and that's good. I still am not necessarily initiating tasks as effectively as I would like. I'm still kind of struggling. It's not like a calmer mood is necessarily getting me into the okay, get up and go and get it done. Still kind of relying a little bit on emergency crisis, deadline management here a little bit, I'll be honest. And I kind of thought about that today, and I said, you know what, the executive shame. Can we just talk about that? Have you guys ever heard of it, first of all? Executive shame. Well, let me break it down for you a little bit. So executive functioning skills. It's just what it says. It's how we execute different activities. And it's much more than just problem solving. All of our executive function skills is like memory. It's like initiation and motivation. It's attention and focus. It's task completion. It's mood. It's being able to think about a big project and break it down into its steps, and then sequence the steps to know, you know, which ones you're going to do first. It's about prioritization. It's about organization. Say it with me. It's a whole thing. It is a whole thing. And so the idea of executive shame is that when you fail in one of those areas and you fail to complete a project or to start a project or to do something that you know is simple and you know you can do it, And it's not really because you're being lazy, because you find other stuff to do a lot of times. You just don't do that thing. And then the voices start accusing you, right? The guilt, the shame. Why didn't you get it done? You could have started that earlier. What's wrong with you? You lazy, you stupid, all of that. It's called executive shame. And I deal with it a lot. I know what it is, so that helps me give myself grace, compassion, and I can move through it, because I tell you, the beauty is in the return. That's where the magic is. The magic is in the return. So when I am struggling, and I am today, I have a couple of reports too that I need to get cracking on so I can get that done. And I have a meeting, a real important meeting, that I have to get that cracking and get all the details with that, get the team assembled. And then I have some love projects, some hobbies. I like to bake. It's one of the things I enjoy doing. And I've got a couple of things I need to get done with that, licensing things I need to get done. I got some stuff. And I'm noticing that I'm not moving as quickly as I would like to. And I just wanted to know how you're doing and how you're managing those moments when that executive shame is so big and you're trying to get it all done, but you can't really count on yourself to get that task started. What are you doing? I will say that the cortisol levels are down, I believe, and my mood is more balanced. So that voice, that shaming voice, he's not as loud today. He's not been as loud. He's there, but it's not so loud that I'm in a panic and I'm stressed or I'm overwhelmed about it. It's as if, yeah, I know it's done. I know it's not done. And I know I need to get it done, but it's okay. I'll get it done. I have decided that I can trust that I will get it done at some point. Maybe it won't be as neat and organized as the next person, as the next guy, but I can count on myself to get it done before the deadline. And I have a couple of organization tools that I use to help me with that. But this executive shame, I thought we need to talk about it, and I need to check in to see where you are, what strategies you're using. Do you even know it's a thing? And this isn't just for people with, pardon me. This is not just for people with ADHD or any type of brain injury or any type of autism. This can be for just people that are just overwhelmed. They've just gotten themselves in a situation where they've bit off more than they can chew, and they're not able to get it all done, and they're just sort of starting to spiral. That's the thing about these executive function difficulties. They don't all wear the same hat, right? It's not always the same diagnosis, but they all struggle with these types of things. And I will tell you that what is helping me at the moment is the fact that my voice in my head, I call it the ringmaster, he's not barking as loud. So that's a huge help. He's not screaming at me, "What's wrong with you? Why didn't you get that done? You must be lazy. I thought you were better than that." I don't hear him as loud. And I will tell you why I decided to name him the ringmaster, because I got tired of thinking that was me. Because I have moved into this phase where I really want to love myself and accept myself. I mean, I have spent decades beating myself up about all of this. And I thought, you know what, I just don't want to do that anymore. And I'm definitely not going to call that particular voice God, because my God is loving. He wouldn't talk to me like that. Unless I was doing something really crazy, he might. But for, forgetfulness, difficulty initiating and completing tasks, problems with organization and prioritization, my God's not going to yell at me for that. So I wasn't going to call that voice God. I didn't want to call it the devil either, because I didn't want to give him that much power. So I call him the ringmaster. And so I tell that ringmaster where to go from time to time. But the one thing I'm noticing now is that ringmaster voice is not so loud in my head. And that's a huge help to my nervous system. That allows me to be more gentle with myself. That's the next thing I would tell you. You need to learn to be compassionate and gentle with yourself. If you are dealing with executive function problems, it's one or two reasons. You've either overcommitted yourself, nothing's wrong with your brain, your brain is functioning fine, but you've just gotten yourself in a situation where you've overcommitted. So you got to get your calendars out, get your phone out, and start making some changes there. That should be relatively easy for you to do. If you don't have any brain-based, attention-based type issues, you just got to get a tighter rein on your schedule. And you will have all this probably sorted out. But if you are dealing with attention-based, executive types of difficulties, getting a calendar out and scheduling a calendar and writing another to-do list, that's not going to be enough. It's just not going to be enough. I'm just going to tell you that right out the gate. But what you can do is you still need to organize, because you have to at least have some idea what's due and where you are in that process. But what you've also got to bring along is compassion. You've got to learn to understand yourself better. You cannot be holding yourself to the same standard as somebody else who just got themselves overcommitted because they're dealing with something else. Maybe they just, wanted to help out a friend and a hunch, or they really are trying to prove themselves on their job. And so they've taken on more than they can chew. But it's because they've just made some poor choices. They can fix that pretty quickly. But if you're dealing with other stuff, ADHD, autism, executive function, traumatic brain injury, stuff like that, you're going to have to learn to be compassionate with yourself. Because sometimes you're just not going to be able to get that. And I'm all about soft, compassionate goal setting, system setting. And I tell myself the magic is in the return. As long as I get back to the task, and as long as I can find out where I left off and then move it further, it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. I'll get it done. It will get done. And I can breathe when I think like that. I can breathe. And so I'm hoping wherever you are today, whatever phase of that big project you're on, that you can see yourself with compassion. You're not lazy. You're not uncaring. You're not undisciplined. You just have a brain that has to work extra hard to maintain, to initiate, maintain, and to complete a task. Your brain craves novelty. It craves stimulation. It craves a lot of things that make it difficult for you to maintain a task. And that's okay. It's not that you can't do it. You just have to be compassionate with yourself and be okay when you have those moments when you're struggling. Just get back on the horse, ride it a little bit further. If you fall off again, it's okay. Get back on the horse. Eventually, you'll get it done. You'll get it done. I think the takeaway here is that when you have a brain like that, you have to appreciate that invisible work that goes into you completing a seemingly easy task. There's a lot of invisible work behind the scene that nobody sees. Where you're sitting there looking at a task and you're just trying to figure out where you want to start. It just all seems so overwhelming, even though it's a simple task. Your brain is like struggling to figure out what point of it you want to start. And then, oops, here comes another idea, because you can't start that before you get that done. That's what your brain tells you. Because when you have a brain like that, it's either everything is important or what should be important all of a sudden becomes invisible or irrelevant. And you can't really see what the next step should be. So you have to be patient with yourself and you have to be kind. Tell that loud voice in your head to shut up if it's accusing you. Tell it to shut up. You don't have to listen to it. You can talk back. That's what I learned. I talk back to the ringmaster. I tell it, listen, I'm not going to do it right now because I don't feel like it. I'm not going to force myself. I'm not going to stress out about it, raise my cortisol level. I ain't doing it. Now I'm going to figure out where I am in the process, and I'm going to think about what's the next tiniest step I can do. And when I get back on the horse, I'm just going to do that little tiny step, and then we'll see what happens. Oftentimes, if you can get yourself to do that little bitty tiny step, it's enough to kick your nervous system into gear, and then you can go ahead and get a lot of it done. Because that's the executive function problem, is that we have trouble with making transitions from one task to the next. Weird thing, but that's how it is. So I just accept myself and I love myself because I know I can still be successful and you can still be successful. So that's my thing today. I'm enjoying this mellow kind of fellow attitude, new mood that I got. I think I do like it. Again, my nervous system is feeling a little kind of like, what's going on here? You should be going to bed. If you feel this mellow, you should be sleeping. And I'm like, well, no, I'm not sleeping. And I don't know if you can remember, I did an episode a couple, days ago. And I thought I was sad because I was looking outside and I was saying, oh, it's kind of a drabby day. It's kind of drab outside. You know, I'm just going to be very compassionate with myself. Because again, at that point, it was just starting. This mellow mood was just sort of starting to kick in. And my nervous system was registering it as I must be sad. I don't feel that motor in my back. I don't feel the cortisol spikes. So I must be sad. And it took me a few days to realize I wasn't sad. And then my nervous system thought, well, okay, if you're not sad, maybe you're tired. And then I thought, well, no, I'm not tired. I have energy to do anything I want to do right now. It's not like I want to go to sleep. So I began to put two and two together. And that's when I realized, oh, this must be my supplements. Those supplements are having this effect on me. And then I sort of did a little bit of a read in the back. And I saw, like I said, one, that Slender X is supposed to lower your cortisol and bring your hormone into balance. And that Natural Reams has ashwagandha. And I imagine it has a lot of minerals, 92 out of the 102 that your body needs. So I'm sure it has things in it. I haven't read it much further, but things in it that calms inflammation and gives your body the minerals it needs so that I can, be calm. I'm still waiting on the focusing for things that I have to do. I haven't noticed that much yet. I'm still dragging on some projects. But one thing I am noticing, that hyper-focus thing that we do when we have brains like this, I am able to do amazing focus work on one love project that I'm doing right now, and that's YouTube. Honey, I ain't got no problems coming on here. No problems at all. So that is the thing too, is that when you have a brain like mine, you want to make sure you're in a profession that you are passionate about. You need to be passionate about at least 80 to 90% of it. Because if you're not, it's going to be hard. It's going to be a struggle for you. But if you can figure out what that thing is that you love and do that thing, maybe you got to start it out in part-time because you got to keep your day job so you can eat, pay the bills. But if you can figure out what that passion project is and then turn that passion project into a way to generate some revenue, and hopefully turn that into something that you and your family can live on, that's really the ticket for our types of brains. Because it's interesting, we don't have any problem focusing on something we like. No problem at all. So I'm finding that I will just hop on here, no problem. I will Google information that I feel like I want to share with you guys, no problem. So I'm also asking, am I in the honeymoon phase of this though? Because that's what will happen to our brains. We'll get in a honeymoon phase and it's just all about it. Then all of a sudden the novelty wears off and then we struggle. But I don't think that's going to happen here because this is really a passion project for me. I'm doing this simply because I like talking to you all. I am that talking gal. And this offers a time for me to talk and chat about pop culture, about life, living successfully with a brain like mine, because I do believe we can be very successful with it. Because ADHD And executive functioning type disorders do have a superpower. And that superpower is that we can hyper-focus on things we really enjoy. And once you hyper-focus on something that you really enjoy, we can actually do the work of 10 men, 10 females, 10 men. I'll say 10 men. We can do the work of 10 men when we're in that thing we enjoy. And that's what I think surprises us, and it surprises other people that see us. They don't know how to rationalize that. They see you doing this brilliant, great level of work one day or in this particular area, but you can't seem to translate that into other areas and spaces of your life. Hey, even Superman has kryptonite. You know what I'm saying? So I look at it like it's a superpower, and I hyper-focus on this YouTube channel right now because I love it. But and I'm writing some things about all that we're doing, and so I'm just really enjoying my time here, my space here. But that's really all I want to talk about today. I just want to check in with you. I want to encourage you that if you are dealing with some of these executive functioning difficulties, whether you're just somebody that just bit off more than you can chew, handle that. Get your calendars together. Stop overcommitting yourself. You know that you don't need to be committing yourself like that. You got to make sure you have time. That's an easy fix for you. If you just got into a moment, a temporary moment of people pleasing and trying to, brown nose. But for those of you that struggle with this every day, all the time, I want to encourage you as well. I really want to encourage you so that you understand that life is not about completing these tasks perfectly. That probably isn't the best goal for you. I want you to remember that you do need your organization systems, but remember, you don't have to be perfect with them. Do the best you can, because the magic is in the return. Get back to it, hop back on that horse, figure out what's the tiniest step you can take next, which is really, really tiny. A lot of times that'll kick your nervous system into action, and you can make that transition to complete, or at least get further along in the process. And most of all, turn that voice down in your head. Be compassionate to yourself and love yourself. Give yourself grace. You will get it done. All right? That's all I got. Now I'm going to go take that advice I just gave you. I'm going to take it for myself and see what I can do with my projects. And I'll see you next time. All right? Bye.